All right, in this video, I want to talk to you about the dynamic power and control in the relationship. They're all like trigger words, but if you're watching this video, it's because you either lost someone, you want to get her back, or you're in a relationship that you feel like you've lost control and the dynamic is not in your favor. Why is it important to understand the concept of dynamic and control and be able to have the dynamic in the relationship in your favor? If you're a guy watching this video and you're in a relationship with a woman, naturally, the woman wants you to be able to lead. She wants you to be able to be in control, to make the calls. But what happens with most relationships, the guy becomes needy. He becomes insecure. For any reason, he puts her on a pedestal and he starts to do things for her while he's not happy doing those things. And he starts to lose the dynamic and the control. And she starts to realize that this guy is losing power, and as a result, attraction goes. So it's absolutely important for you to understand what are the dynamic in the relationship and how you can control them. I give you a couple of my clients. For example, this guy says, me and my ex are thinking about getting back together. She says, okay, I'm gonna come back. She come back to him, but she says sometimes, hey, you know what? I'm actually sleeping with two other guys and I wanna explore to see if I wanna go with somebody else or choose you. Because this guy doesn't have any power and the dynamic is all in her favor, he just says yes. And what happens when he says yes? She realizes he has to have her because he cannot be without her. So because of that, he drops the standards and he puts up with her behavior, which he doesn't like. He has to hide his jealousy, which she knows very well. Look, your ex, your partner, your wife, she knows you really, really well. If you do things for her, do things that make you uncomfortable, things that are out of your book and you don't want to do them, but you do them because you want to have her back, you murder attraction. So what happens with this guy? She comes and say, yeah, that guy, he's better in bed. That guy wants to do this with me. That guy wants to do that. And because of that, he loses. So he loses his relationship. Or I'll give you another example. I've written here, I go through of them. There are different frames that I show you in other videos. For example, the frame of father-daughter. That's a really cool frame to have a relationship, any interaction between man and woman. For example, when you interact with a girl, you should always think about you as the mature adult and she as the person who reacts to it, just like a father and daughter. The father never reacts to daughter, but daughter always follows the father, daughter listens to father, and that's the relationship as well. But again, when a guy loses the power and control in the relationship, the father-daughter frame turns to mother-son frame. And I want you to think about these examples and think about it and see which of these things happen to your relationship. And as a result, I see sometimes guys tell me the messages that they exchange between them and their ex. She talks like she's talking to her son instead of talking to her boyfriend or husband. Oh, it's really good that you fix your diet. And the guy starts to report, hey, I started to go to the gym. I'm not sad anymore. Everything's going well. She said, oh, good for you. You're doing great. You can do this. That's another way that these frames change and the guy loses all of the control. And as a result, attraction. Another dynamic, another terrible dynamic is the frame like the beggar and the rich guy. And that happens in the relationship. But this time the guy begs for love and attention. Hey, listen, I'm miserable. What happened between us? You know, you said you love me. I love you. I don't want to be with anybody else. It's us. Please come back. You know, just explain to me what happened. When you do that, when the dynamic is like a beggar and a rich person, what gets hurt is attraction. And she works on attraction. What do you want from her? You want her to like you. You want her to be attracted to you. You want her to come to you. Or another one, the last one I want to tell you is that you are my drug frame, which is, again, a lot of guys do it. I can't be without you. I love you so much. I don't want to be with anybody else. I want to do anything. I want to do whatever it takes to be with you. When you set that frame, you are basically telling her, hey, I can't do it without you anymore. And sometimes guys feel, oh, that's a good thing. Isn't it the point of falling in love and being together? No, that's not a point. This is transactional. Look where you're at. You gotta be careful. You never drop your guards. Never, man. I have clients who've been together 24 years, sometimes 30 years. Still, there are certain mistakes you should not make. You should always be masculine and dominant. I don't mean aggressive, but dominant and masculine. You are the guy who leads. You are the guy who makes the calls. And now, how can you do this? How can you build a dynamic that is in your favor? How can you build the dynamic that you're not like the guy that the girl come and tell you, hey, you know, I'm sleeping with two other guys and he's better than you, but I'm gonna consider giving you a chance. Or the mother, how can you avoid the mother-son frame, or the beggar dynamic, or the you're my drug frame? How can you avoid getting into that situation? Or if you're in that situation, how can you get out? The first thing you need to do, you need to understand one concept I talk about in pretty much every video that I make, and that's something that if you knew, you wouldn't be here listening to this. And that's the concept of having the willingness to walk away. And that is a superpower. Life was dark, man. I remember I was in one of these festivals. I remember in Australia, man, I had so much pain in my chest because of missing the girl, waiting for that text message to come, because of this. Because I didn't have the willingness to walk away. Because I knew if I leave her, that she was already leaving me. I knew there's no way for me to find somebody like her ever again. You have to stop putting her on a pedestal. You have to have willingness to walk away. You have to know that you can have better options than her, which is always true. Now I tell you what, you cannot fake this. You cannot just say, Ben, you know what, I'm gonna have willingness to walk away. Fine, I'm just gonna have the willingness to walk away right now. It doesn't work like that. For you to have the willingness to walk away, you have to be legit, you have to be real, and you have to know you have the skills to meet somebody who's more pretty, and you can get her to fall in love with you. That's on one level. On another level, you can completely detach from the whole woman thing, which that's why my friends sometimes tell me I'm like a monk. But that's another thing. We don't want to go there yet. We want to work on another level now. For you to have the willingness to walk away, you have to understand you have to have certain skills as a man. Woman doesn't need them. For example, after the breakup, if your ex is pretty, it's very easy for her to meet new guys. But for someone like you probably destroyed after the breakup. She has all of your attention. You probably don't even want to be with anybody else. And that's what happened in a relationship. Guys get rusty. Slowly, they lose their skills. They become rusty. They lose all of the communication skills, social skills, skills to meet women. And when the breakup happens, it takes 6 months for the guy to go through 5 courses of communication and dating until he has the ability to walk to a girl and say hi and get rejected. So for you to be able to have the willingness to walk away, you have to have these skills. You have to understand the concept of cold approach. You have to never lose that skill. Even if you're in a relationship with a woman, you should always be social. You should be able to approach women and build a relationship out of nothing. That's why I'm going to give you a course. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a course that you can learn how to do cold approach. You see a girl sitting in a library, in a bookstore, in a cafe. You go there, or she's walking the street. You approach, start a conversation, build attraction, get a phone number, and get on a date if she's single. It doesn't happen 100% of the time because she's not available. Not every woman is available, but that is very possible to make it happen. For you to learn cold approach, you're going to go through weeks, or maybe months, or maybe days, depending on where you're at, of rejection, humiliation, self-judgment, and like a mix of negative emotions. But if you have a vision, if you have a good strategy, if you know what you're doing step by step, you can do it. Dude, this skill will change your life. This skill is what kicks your ex out of the pedestal. You may not even know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm going to give you one of my courses at the end of this video so you can check it out. Because you can't just say, I'm going to walk away from this relationship. How else are you going to match that? How else are you going to find something like her ever again? If you know you can't. That's another thing you need to know. You're going to be able to emotionally and mentally detach. Most guys cannot detach. Their mind is not in their control. It's like the guy's here and his mind is another separate entity. And his mind, like a body part, does what it does for itself. Imagine your arm going up and down like this. We are having control. That's what happened after breakup. That's why it's very painful, because the guy doesn't control his thoughts. He cannot control his emotions. So he's like this flood of anger, sadness, jealousy, neediness, fear, confusion. And all of this energy targets to the ex, because baby, you're my everything. If she comes, life will be good again. You have to deal with rejection. You have to deal with loneliness. You have to deal with the fear of her with somebody else, all of that stuff. So you need to learn how to control your thought, how to control your emotion. And all of that goes through the model that I teach you in the program. Your beliefs are the most important thing. If you believe you cannot meet anybody like her ever again, then you will have fearful and scarce thoughts. And those thoughts are, well, if my wife goes, my family's gonna break. When my family breaks, then I'll be lonely. I don't have anything anymore. What am I gonna do? How else am I gonna find someone like her ever again? And then your behavior, this just triggers emotions of fear and emotions of insecurity, and then all of your text messages, all of your communication becomes weak and needy as well. So your belief, you gotta change your beliefs, and you can only break your beliefs and build new beliefs by changing how you think and learning new skills that I show you. Don't become that guy, because I categorize guys who go through breakup in two categories. One category, go through the pain. It sucks, man. It's fucking painful. You know, you gotta go over it. You do things, you do all of the rituals that I show you, do the routines, read the books that I show you, watch all of this stuff. You eventually come out of it. With or without her, this feelings that you have is gonna stop. That's the first category. But there's another category of guys. I really don't want it to be in that category. These are the guys who can't let go. These are the guys who just keep having the same loop, same thoughts. Oh man, everything that they say is, oh, her, oh, she's like this, oh, she's there. Because they don't believe they can ever get anything like that ever again. So their mind doesn't allow them to think a little forward, to even build a vision, a better vision. They don't know how to approach women. They cannot get dates. They subconsciously put this one on a pedestal. If you think this woman was the queen of everything, she was the most wonderful woman in the world, there's no way I can ever find anybody like her again, which is a completely crazy and scarce mindset. That belief gives you bad thoughts. The thoughts are like, I'm gonna be alone now. What am I gonna do after this? And then those thoughts give you emotions of anxiety, terror, fear. You miss her, loneliness. Fuck, what if she meets somebody else? And those thoughts get you to, again, do needy and low value behavior. Text her too much, get angry, or get even violent. As a result, relationship over, you become bitter, you hate her, you start doing self-destruct and all those things. You start getting angry at the world, at yourself, and things go to hell. So remember, it's all about power and the dynamic between you and her, and control. And relationships are the best school for you to learn this. If you lost this woman, if you think there's nobody else there like her, it means you need to work on all these skills that I told you. You need to be able to do it. You need to up your game. I don't care if there was a day in your life that you could get all the girls you want. Think about it, man. Journey back to the day before you met this girl. You are this really cool, confident, amazing guy. You need to go back there. You need to go back there, and you need to get much better than even that. But this relationship, this breakup has kind of like brainwashed you and made you feel like you will never find anybody like her ever again. And now you are in this like cycle of terror. And you go in and out, in and out, in and out, and all that bad thoughts. Willingness to walk away is a product of having an incredibly good outer game, which is approaching women, texting, all of that stuff, and also inner game, which is controlling your thoughts and your emotions, which as a result affects your outer game as well. Now, if you understand this concept, if you're ready to rebuild yourself, if you want to understand how you can build the willingness to walk away and kick her off the pedestal, which is a skill. Most guys don't understand that. Most guys keep saying, oh man, there's nobody like her. There's no way I can find anybody like her. If you want to learn to do this, I can help you. You can see the link in the description. Download a free copy of my book. Read the book. In there, you can also get my phone number when you finish the book. Watch the videos as well. Send me a message. Also, I'm going to give you a copy of my program about meeting women. There are 8 videos there. I see you in the next video.